So back at the motorboat, and we can see that my guy has opened up the one of the worst crack, and maybe you can just tell it's actually a double skin. It's like this this section, which is where the engine is, that's strong, and then you can hear the difference in the sound. You've got a support ridge runs along in the curve of the hull. If you go inside, there's actually a ridge, so there's a strengthening. And if you go inside this, you can just maybe tell that the hull is double. This is like a second section bonded on, and it looks like what the guy did, because he had a crack, he just filled it, because this is actually not structural. This is structural, that's carrying the weight of the engine. So, and it's the same on the other side, but to a smaller extent. So what we'll do is we'll push up resin, mat and stuff in there, and create something to really bind on, and then mat over, smooth it up. And in actual fact, we don't need anything on the inside, because it's a double hull. We can't find any actual hole in the, or crack on the inside, but what we have found is a hole that comes through this transom, and we believe the old pneumatic trim tabs may have been fitted more about here, because you can see some filler work, and we think the pneumatic hole sits here somewhere, and that being on the inner to outer hull has allowed water through in that crack when it fills that double space to then go through the hole into the internal side of the hull. So we think that it's all closed off here by the new trim tab, but the hole on the inside was left. I have a photograph to show that. So what I'll do is, with the video, I'll add the photograph in, and we've got a similar situation here, where he's basically filled what is a crack between the outer hull and the inner hull. So yeah, and the same here. We believe there's a hole behind here for the old pneumatic trim tabs, and he never closed off the holes. So the question is, what do we do? Do we close off the inner hull holes, or do we leave them open? Because we should not be getting any water coming in to that hull anymore once we close all this up. So we should stay dry. The only thing is, obviously, if there's any water does get in there from some rain or something, then there's the possibility of through that hole to actually fill up the inner hull. Yeah, I think we'll close off the inner hull holes for the pneumatics. And Guy hasn't done the leg yet. Shit, I was hoping he would have done that by now. But it would appear that, having not had any water come from here, my opinion is that my bellows actually might not be a problem. So I wonder whether just to leave the bellows until next year. But I've got to replace that bump stop anyway. We'll just resin that back on. Yeah, so right, I've got to see if I can talk to a guy on a boat who's tied up where I should be. Right, okie doke.